please, if you can get your pillow, we're starting right off with our pillow. And we're just going into our basic step, right? There's something, I will often let my hands rest on my hips, all right? That just makes me keep going. With your hands, if you can comfortably bring your hands to your hips, it might help you identify if the abs are kind of like tipped down and you're compressing your back, because you'll feel like the direction that the fingertips point, you'll be able to tell, are your hips like starting in the wrong position? So this is a reference point for me, and I just thought I'd bring that all to your attention. If while you're doing your stepping, if you'll take your buns and kind of go ahead and initiate that, what feels like a tuck under your pelvic tilt, you'll feel the pressure in your fingers as they're making contact with your hips slightly different. You'll be able to slide the thumbs back along the hip line a little bit more. You'll be able to take the index and third finger and kind of anchor them, tip them up, and it just might help you go broad across the front, shoulders down, like open your body up. Maybe this is the beginning of a nice gentle stretch in the front of your shoulder as well. You'll feel it spread that space between your index and thumb right there. That might feel like a stretch right between that little web. Get ready, switch legs without skipping a beat. So a lot of people can't bring their hand to their hip. If that's your lane that you're settling into this morning, then just relax the arms. But that's where I often go, is right here, right? It almost seems like Sandy and I talk about this a lot, taking up space, right? Taking up space, projecting yourself. I actually feel like this is a position of command. And what are we trying to do for the next 60 minutes? Make commands to our body, right? So it's like, who's in charge? You're in charge, and your body needs to know that you're in charge and you're coming along, going to do precisely what mind to muscle control can activate. Release and relax. Okay. Get it out of the way. And now go into little step touches. So let the arms relax. Lift and breathe. Exhale. Nice full breath in. Blow it out. And nothing out of the ordinary here. Just easy, gentle arms reaching. Whichever leg is doing the pulling in, the other arm, right? Or I should say that arm is stretching up, kind of arcing across your body. As it goes up, even if the arm is bent, still, I should say, as the arm is maybe arcing over the head, try to get the elbow to extend. And that will immediately give you a stretch under the lat. Okay, 5 more. And 4, 3, 2. Now the arms are coming on the bottom side. So as your arms are just doing this little swish from side to side, it's going to get a little more intense. Okay. You may even have to stop your arms in order to get your legs synced up first, but can you do your double step touch? And with your double step touch, your arms are going to go like this. Okay. Don't do the double touch yet. I'm going to bring you into rhythm, right? So here we go. Double step touch, go now. 2 touches, the arms follow through, right? Big touch. Inhale up. Exhale, drop it off to the side. Inhale up. I swear. So, Sandy, y'all, Sandy sent me something that came from I didn't look at the date, okay, but it came out of the Huffington Post, and with a great appreciation, because that's an article that I never would have come across. Do one more to each side. It is all about the things that we need to be taking like extra control of as a means of our long-term, really our long-term care for our body. Knees up. And it broke the body up into like quadrants of what 4 things kind of fall by the wayside as people don't identify that these 4 areas of well-being play a huge role as you get older. Cognitive, it's called neuroplasticity. What is that? All of the times that I have you trying to learn new body skills, that's neuroplasticity, right? If you're trying to learn a new language, neuroplasticity, anything that challenges your body, your brain beyond, that's why I say sometimes the movement is a brain teaser, beyond what a normal daily pattern is. Plant one foot down, right? Repeat other leg. All we're doing right now is just trying to do that gentle warming where you feel like your heart rate comes up just enough that it's a little bit higher than it would be than if you were sitting in the chair, right? So nothing aggressive. Belly to spine, pinch the derriere, right? How weeble wobbly are you that foot? Power up. So the brain, right? The lungs, the wrists, and the feet. Imagine, switch sides. Imagine how I feel reading an article like that, that identifies, that I identify with and have for years. And it just makes me go, yay, we're ahead of the curve again, right? Validation, like I don't think it's overrated. I think sometimes for me, switch sides, because you should, as you're doing your leg lift, 2 things should happen, maybe 4, but the 2 obvious ones are that the leg you stand on gets fatigued, and then you start realizing just how heavy your limb is. Stay with me on the thought about how heavy the limb is. With that limb being heavy, every time the leg lifts up, your abs are working. So be receptive. Other side. When you see us go in and you start feeling the leg raise, change whatever negative thought comes into your mind and go, this is my opportunity to work your phenomenal abdominals from a standing position. The side bonuses are the fact that your legs are getting toned in addition to this big mass in the front of your body. 4, 3, 2, walk it out. Okay, remember how I've encouraged you to not just walk. You know how you've seen those speed racers, right? The speed walkers. Walk around your space like you're a speed walker. Now, I have no training in speed walking, but when I watch those people like swish, 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 I know that there's a true skill to it, right? But I want you to kind of feel like your buns are tight and you're letting your hips glide side to side. Push, 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 and cut. They may be too small for you all to actually notice, but Exhibit A, Exhibit B, I took my mom's, she donated them to my cause, her 8 and 10 pound dumbbells. So I immediately drained my Tide bottles and my plants out there. And now I have 8 and 10 pound dumbbells, which may prove to be more of a challenge than I want. What are we doing? Lateral raises. Can I tell you that if your hand is moving forward of your body, you're not doing a clean lateral raise. Pull the arms back like you have this imaginary wall that you're dragging the edge of your dumbbell up. And because our back body and our buns are on the imaginary wall and the buns are tight and the abs are tucked in, the head is making contact with the imaginary wall, right? Maybe even Maybe it's not even the edge of your dumbbell that's dragging up and down the wall. Maybe it's the backside of your arm and your elbow. That would be even a cleaner lateral raise. If you've got one wing, I call your arm a wing when we're doing this one. If you have one wing that is just biting at you saying, no, don't do it, right? Here we go, 5 more. Can you just walk yourself into your place of having your best heel to toe stance? Release the arms. Now, I'm going to give you something that you've not done before. Don't turn. I'm just showing you. So if it's hard for you to just even stand with one foot in front of the other, then you're going to take your front foot and you're going to just let it open up a little bit. But here's what I want you to think. I want you to put some weight in your front foot so the rear heel frees up, and then bend down. Down, 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 down. How close to the floor can you get? Maybe when you bent down, you rounded your back and your butt is still high in the air and you're all wiggly, because at that point, your leverage isn't very good. So I want you to sink the hips down, stand up, push the back heel to the floor, squeeze the buns. If you don't want the extra weight, then step out of your move, set the weight down, take your rear leg, step forward with it, offload the rear heel. You're looking down, soften the rear leg, and then descend. Down, 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 down. Feel your knees pull into each other. Down you go. Maybe you're able to get all the way down. Pull up, push the rear heel to the floor, squeeze your buns. Take the rear foot, step forward with it. Offload the rear heel. You're looking down. Now, if you don't need to look down, then look out. And you're kind of looking out, but you're looking forward probably 8 to 10 feet, and you still are looking down, right? You're just not looking straight down at your own foot. Here we go. Pull it up. You've got one last rep. Push the heel down, zip and tuck, walk your trailing leg forward, raise the rear heel from the floor, looking forward and downcast, and down you go. The knees squeeze together. Oh, Nelly. Pull yourself up and push the heel down to complete it and walk around your space. You're going to set your dumbbells down, maybe grab a little drink. Bringing your pillow back into the equation. We're going to do our little step overs. Now, I would very much like to incorporate a bicep curl with this step over. And at some point, if you feel like the movement becomes just too much, it's called complex. And I'm out of the screen for a second. I realize that. If your move is too complex, then you're just going to omit the bicep curl. So I've picked up my heavier dumbbell. I'm going to try with my 8. Opposite. You're going to go opposite foot to the pillow, right? To the hand that's got the weight. Don't do your bicep curl yet. Let's just get this rock step going, okay? It's the back traveling step that's probably going to present the biggest phase of instability, okay? So when you go in and you come back out of your step, that's when I want you to do your curl. Step forward, release the curl. Step back, and if you need this free hand to kind of help give you this guide, so both arms are doing the same thing, your shoulders are down, the elbows are kind of anchored in towards the waistline, and you may be doing exactly what you see me doing. If the toes of the front foot lift from your pillow or your step on the back end, that's okay. That just adds that full rock step ability, right? I'm trying to get my pillow square. So belly to spine, shoulders down, right? What I love about the rock step is it's complete shifting of body weight from right to left leg, right? Right leg loads on the front. Guess what? Your right leg loads on the back too. So it's dominant side. You've got one more. Push back, pause, trade it out. Put the foot on the step. Here we go. Shoulders down, tuck the derriere. Your arm, just forget about it for a second. Let's get the leg going, right? What's your body doing? In my attempt to demonstrate like precarious wobbles, right? If you watch it and then that's exactly what your body does, I apologize. I just want to show you that sometimes your footing isn't always going to be like spot on. So where are we going with this? Extend the arms on the front, pull it up. So as you rock into your front step, think about this muscle on the back of your arm. So as you extend the arms, you're not just lowering the weight. I want you to feel like you're pushing the hands down. And as the hands push down, because now we're shifting the focus, your mind doesn't have to just think about pulling the weight up. We want to give other active thought process. Triceps push, right? Biceps pull. Triceps push, you're elongated, you're loading that glute, right? So as you push down and you load that front foot, see if it doesn't help you get your buns tighter. Pull it up. Now, the bicep curl just doesn't even feel like it's really the challenge here. It's more challenging to control a push down than it is the pull up, okay? Here we go. You got about 3 more. Push and squeeze. Power up. Drive it down. The neck is long. Inhale up. Get ready. Exhale, push. Complete the back end, right? Release and relax. Okay. So if you have your pillow, I know a few of you actually have the AirX pad, and I love that. But hopefully you're working on a big enough pillow that allow you to march your feet. So we're in march mode. And even if your pillow isn't big, like the AirX pad isn't actually big, but it's big enough for me to have the ability to step my feet out a few inches and step in. And now, what I want you to do is maybe look down because your feet need to stay on your pillow. Put your hands on your hips, command your body, shoulders down, abs tight, and I want you to start marching. You might have to slow your march speed down, but you're going to go all the way around. And when you get yourself back to the start position, you are going to change direction. Go slow enough so that you do not feel yourself get dizzy, right? And a regular pillow has a whole different aspect of compression of those pillow fibers. So you might have to just go as slow as you need to. And now release and relax. Good. Move the pillow out of the way. Bring in the chair, please. Today's only Wednesday, and this week I've spoken to both of my sisters so far. We don't talk every day, but we have some form of communication, whether it be, texting or we've got a family group chat that we do, and we've got a girls chat that we do. So generally every day there's some form of contact made, but I actually spoke with both of them this week. And one of them is you're squeezing. I just put the block in the equation. It could be your towel. Maybe you've had to put your pillow back between your legs, right? Squeeze, stand up, sit down. Don't worry about how heavy of a sit down you do, right? Okay. And because I'm going to give you an opportunity to clean it up. If when you sit down, it's like you get to a really controlled point and then you feel like you lose control on the last couple of inches, part of that has to do with the strength that you have and any knee discomfort. But if you will build your sit base up, right, to the point where you don't have to thud down, that's probably better than losing control, right? So I want you to think about that. Do you need to take the pillow from between the knees and put it under your bum, or can you just give yourself more time to come back with better mechanics? So often when people get to a certain part of their squat, you guys keep going. If your chest comes down and then your butt travels back, all that represents is that your hips stopped lowering. And that's the part that we're trying to break through, that bit of strength and flexibility. Okay, so maybe I've just reached out to you, right? The reaching out would be if you had a helpmate through the screen. I'm being your helpmate. Okay. So instead of you drawing your chest to your thighs, I want you to reach your hands towards me as if I'm helping guiding you down. I'm off, your arms offset an uncomfortableness in your body, believe it or not. So if your hands are hanging, the thud is going to be probably a little bit greater. Offset it, leverage your weight, weight, rock back. Now, make this sit your last one for this set. Push it back, release and relax. Whew, sit up tall. And now I have time to finish the story. So push the heel out, glide it back, push it out, track it back. I'm going to show you something. When you track it back, is the leg kind of swinging around this object, an imaginary object? And the reason why I say that is because that's exactly what my first leg did. And it made me go, why is my leg doing that? I've got plenty of clearance because I just picked the leg up. There's nothing in its way. I've got plenty of clearance to make it track back exactly the way that it came up. That's your focus points. You don't have to keep looking at the screen. You can keep watching your own leg to make sure the foot doesn't swing wide and then set down. So one of my sisters is really vocal about how impressed she is with my YouTube and all of the stuff that I'm posting. And she has been watching the videos, and she said, Michelle, she's like, I actually took one of your classes today. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. And she said, you're right. It looks so easy. And she said, there was something that we did, she's like, it's when you sit down and, you got your leg and you got your hip propped up. And I was like, no, I actually don't know that one. Next time you watch the video, I was like, screenshot it so that I have an idea of what you're making a reference to. On this next lift, hold it up. Nonetheless, she said, and this was a huge compliment. She said, the thing that about the look of your videos, whether you're in Rich's house or you're outside, switch legs, is she said, there's a it looks fresh to me. She's like, do you watch anybody else's videos? And I said, well, I haven't had a whole bunch of time to discover other people because I'm really focused on me. And I said, but I have seen some stuff. And when I watch switch legs again, I said, when I watch other people's videos that have really high views and subscriptions, you're going to externally rotate the foot. And now, even though we're keeping the pad in place, relax and switch because mine just cramped up. I'm going to see if I can get yours to cramp up on the other leg. So as you extend the leg, the heel is the driver, cock the whole leg. And now pump this leg up and down. The straighter you make this leg, the more that muscle work's going to be. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to go back to leg number 1 because I don't want to jip you because I'm uncomfortable. Turn it out. Which knee do you think is the one I've had the problem with? Said knee right there. Why is it a surprise? It's not that this muscle has less ability than this one. It's not a surprise. So you think about which knee of yours or hip, switch sides, might have been compromised along the way. And when we do certain exercises, it will become very revealing that it truly is weaker than the other side. Shoulders, abs, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. So she uplifted me by telling me, one, she's not only watching the videos, she's doing it. It was much harder than she thought it was going to be based on what it looked like and how fresh and refreshing it was. I was like, wow, thanks, sis. So now fast forward to my other sister. I'm still keeping my soup cans because I need a lightweight. So this is my, 1.5. What are we going to do? We're going to get same side. We often do opposites. So the challenge today is for you to not fall out of the move. You're going to load leg and hand on the side. Okay. And now, by design, as soon as you pick your leg up, right, you might feel like you're wobbly. How do we help ourselves out? You're going to help yourself out by stepping the foot a little bit wider, okay? And though this is, if that doesn't feel good, then you can put your hand wider, but I really think that it's the foot that needs to be wider than the hand. So now I'm just going to reset on the edge of the chair so that I don't have to hit the chair. Can you raise the arm? And then as the leg comes down, bend it, watch, wait for it. The now extended arm is going to push through the other way. Oh my goodness, look, the leg is bent, the arm is long. Hopefully your body's not rounded like this. You want this high arm to be parallel to the floor. Oh, and now the leg extends. You're going to push the arm forward, push, try to level the body out, bringing the leg down bent, chambering it up, and swishing the arm straight back. So take your bent leg, drive the heel back, and swing the arm forward. Pause, pull the belly in, lower the arm, chamber the leg up bent, and keep following through with the arm to its full extension. Wow, you've got one more. Take your leg, push, push, push it out, and drive the arm forward. Pull the leg into bent position. The arm follows through with its full push, and then relax. Walk up, get your wrist relaxed. Well, we might as well take advantage of this little wrist stuff. Work your circles, right? Work around your space. Take your circles both directions. Start thinking about setting up for leg and arm number 2. Oh, it's not a thought that I have ownership of, but I have said for years, we are only limited by our own imagination of what a movement can be. Fortunately for me, I love change. I thrive in an environment where I get to explore what the body can do, but very realistically what the body can do. Notice I'm not bringing gymnastics to you. That's not a skill set of mine, although I would love it to be. I have to pick a lane, and my lane is this. Let's stay safe. Let's do the things that most people's bodies can do, even if initially it doesn't feel normal, right? So where is your hand in relation to your shoulder? Hopefully you're stacked. Okay, so just get this feeling, load the hand in the leg, allow the other leg, right, to free up. Take the leg, raise it. Take the arm, reach it, and now someone's playing tug of war with your limbs. They're pulling the wrist and they're pulling the ankle, so the body's long. The leg, as it comes down, it bends, the arm stays straight, which is part of the challenge, and sweep it back. Now squeeze your shoulder blades. Take your heel, thrust the leg back, let the arm swing through. We're doing this in what looks like super slow motion because I want you to feel your elbow joint and your knee joint connect to full extension. The knee travels into that bent leg position. The arm finishes the follow through. Squeeze the dumbbell, drive the heel, push, tighten your parts, glide the leg in, sweep the arm back, stick the extension right there. Okay, get ready, push, pause, lengthening, retract. One more, push. Say hello to the glute medius on your stance leg. Bring it down and release. Walk it around. That hand that was on the chair should feel like it needs to be manipulated the other way. Work it around. So there is a group that I follow, and I think they're Instagram, but they're called the prehab guys, and there's like 4 or 5 of them, and they post almost every day. And some of the stuff, the majority of the stuff, it's stuff that we're doing, but I love to see, you're done with your dumbbell for a second. I love to see, you know, these guys who are in their probably late 20s to early to mid 30s, right? Doing stuff that we've been doing for years. They're presenting it precisely as what I know the category it's in, prehab, right? That is the genre, that is the lane. Bring your mat down. That is the lane that we're in with this form of training, right? Restorative, regenerative, prehab, preventative. Maybe you need your pillow. I didn't bring my towel out, so I'm going to just have my Airx pad there just in case. Get one of your heavier dumbbells. And though I have a 10 and I could absolutely do this with the 10, I'm going to stay with the 8. So I commented on one of their posts the other day because they like had five different versions of things about core training. And it's all the stuff we do. And it's because of their name, prehab, you know. I was like, I wanted to give them some props. They don't need me for props. But guess what my name comes up with? Guess what my name comes up as when I post on Instagram? Michelle Lindsay, a fit expert. That's what I want. I want the recognition. So I will happily leave comments and hearts and thumbs up on other rehab-based programs because I want my name, Michelle Lindsay, a fit expert, right, to be associated with this style of work. They don't need my stamp of approval, but what I do hope, so you've got your dumbbell, the legs are up. This is, I'm going to, I realize that I'm doing the arm that you can't see. So I'm just going to transfer my dumbbell to the other hand. Now, what is your dumbbell doing? Draw your shoulder blades down to the floor, put your elbow on the floor, and with the elbow touching the floor, try to pull the backs of your shoulders down towards the mat. And your arm should pretty much be making a 90-degree angle. If your hand is pulling, if that weight is drawing towards your shoulder, then you're actually going to feel this as a challenge instead of an assist. You want to keep your pillar, your wrist and your elbow aligned because that's going to help get the shoulders flat, abs tight, your legs are bent, and the feet are just ever so slightly above the knee line. This is nothing new per se. You are going to roll your legs away from your weighted arm. roll. What is that arm doing? It's helping you stabilize. Bring the legs back up to center, belly to spine. The feet are going to stay within your sight line, right? So especially when the feet are at the center, don't let the legs hang. Keep the toes up, navel to spine. Exhale, roll the legs. So the other elbow is actually on the floor as well. And your arms are just kind of creating this little brace. Stay with me because it's so much more complex than this. The further the legs roll to the side, the harder I want you to push your elbows into the floor. And then when the legs come back up to center, everything kind of gets to take a reprieve where you inhale, you reset, shoulders pull back, take the legs, push them over, press the elbows into the floor. You should feel your obliques working. Pull it up, do one more this side. You're like, what the heck is an oblique? Shoulders back, elbows driving into the floor, toes just slightly above the knee line. Push the elbow, push the elbows, push the elbows, pull it up. Set the feet down, switch legs. This movement should not be like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. It should be, wow, like my shoulders are staying a little bit flatter. I can definitely feel this big band of muscle along the side of my abdomen, right? So check yourself out. Are the knees flopped out and the feet closed in where you've got this open space between your legs? Close the gap. Elevate the toes just a little bit above the knee line. And if your thighs happen to be resting on your ribs, no es bueno. That means your tailbone is in the wrong spot. So push the knees away from your chest, trying to get as close to a 90-degree as you can. Okay, so now toes up, belly is drawn in, elbows are pushing into the floor. And the thing about as the leg tracks to the side, right? The knee you're going to be able to use your arm over here that's free as kind of this visual gauge. What does that even mean? Sometimes when our legs roll to the side, the legs actually push away from the arm. And that's a whole nother move. I want you to try to focus on keeping your thigh tracking fairly close to your arm. Exhale as you roll. Inhale up. Ready? The neck is neutral. Push the shoulders into the floor. Pull the belly button in. You're rolling the legs and you're exhaling. Can I tell you that even if you didn't do the rolling of the legs, if you set everything up, right? You drive the shoulders back, you push the elbows into the floor, and then you pull your belly button into your body. If you were only able to do that, you should feel muscle work in your abdominal muscles, okay? The rolling of the legs from side to center just gets more muscle activation. Press into the floor, chin to chest, knees fairly close together, right? Push, push. The further the knees go to the side, the stronger the elbow push is into the floor. Pull it up. Oh, two more. Inhale. Tension. Pull the belly in. Roll and exhale. I feel like I'm at a really nice advantage here with having this big cushion under my head. I can gently keep my neck where it needs to be. I have no strain in my neck, right? But without a pillow, what would be happening is my chin would be pulling up and back, and that would be crimping that upper neckline. So, when I encourage you to grab a pillow, release and relax, it's because I already know what the body is going to gravitate into. So this was super helpful. Okay, side sit. All right, trailing leg, pick it up, work it around. Can you put it on the floor? Even if your knee is up in the air, right? How much limbering can you get? And when it gets to the floor, can we just roll? You're gonna uncurl yourself. Pick up the leg, work it around. Your body's already halfway into the stretch. Take it, come to center. Maybe it's a straight leg and you're going, I can't bend my leg, but I can keep it straight, right? What if you're like, I don't want either leg bent? Then, like, I'm just showing you like what some options are, even though it might not be exactly what I'm doing. If you try to lift your rear leg in whatever capacity you can move it in, that's muscle work, right? So now I'm going to get back to the real move. Bring it up and around wherever it goes. If it crosses over the other thigh, that's too far. It's going to kind of stay out here in front because we want it to torque so that you can lean into it. Why would this be something that I would want to give you? Pause right here if you're able. This ankle on the underside, with you leaning this way, you should be feeling, I hope that I'm not the only one feeling this, you should be feeling like the top of that foot and ankle are getting a stretch. It's so hard to stretch certain parts of our body, right? Bring it up. This is the last time. So don't fight it wherever you go. Just know that even if the spine is in C curve and you have to put your hand out versus your elbow out, right? You just roll, 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 up, release and relax. Take the legs, swivel them the other way. Oh, this is the tight one. This is actually one of the positions when my sister was talking about, you know, how we sit and you prop your hip up. I actually thought that this movement was what she was trying to explain. So we'll see if when she screenshots it, if I nailed it. Leg, pick it up. Exaggerate where your body's going with this, right? Lean, 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 lean. Oh, tell that little ankle, stretch, baby, stretch. Release. Here we go. Sweep it, lean onto it, push the leg back, commit to your stretch. How good does it feel to open yourself up, right? Release. You see, this is the time that there may be no other time today where you get yourself on the floor. There may be no other time in the course of our week that we choose to kind of explore space. So why stop here? Why not pull ourselves open, press the hips through? Like, what ability does our body really have? It's untapped. We have an untapped, I want to say energy, but adaptability, right? It's untapped. And so that's why some of this stuff feels really awkward. Like the sensory, if you've rolled your ankles, right? That's what I'm getting from this right one, is that the ankle all the way down to the baby toe, when I load that elbow, it feels good for me to then go, I want to be free. So I let my head fall back. My head is heavy. I'm aware of that. Yours is too. So protect yourself. Move really slow so that the arm and your torso come with you while you're transitioning. This is your last one this way, right? Maybe you're like, I want both legs straight, but I can do the rolling part, right? This is your last one the other way. Keeping my legs straight, but I roll and then I'm like, okay, I'm strong enough to lean back a little bit and forward. And now into your bridge position. You are going to keep your trusty little dumbbell. Okay, so with bridge position, there's a setup. Get comfortable on your back. Where might you need your little towel or your pillow? right behind your head. And here's the thing. Since our bridge is not going to be like super high end, it's probably your pillow is gonna, your light towel, your thin pillow is gonna be enough. If we were going full high bridge, then you might not need that pillow behind your head. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to guide my feet back nice and tight. And if you can't get hold of your limbs, don't worry about it. You just want to feel like your feet are under your knees, and you're gonna try to not turn the toes out. So picking up your head, even if that means your hand is supporting your head while you take a side glance at your feet, turn the toes into each other a little bit, right? And then pelvic tilt, bring the head back down to its support. Now, assist yourself to get that weight off the floor. Single arm. You're going to do single arm. You're going to assist. So think tricep. The arm, we haven't done these for a while, so this is your hinge back. Your assist would be that this non-weighted hand, okay, all of the fingers are together and they all stay on the same side, and you just put your hand at your wrist. A lot of people put their hand at the elbow joint, which is a great brace, but guess what? If you need help getting the weight from a low position to a high position, then your hand at your elbow isn't going to provide that. So I like to just lock in at the wrist. And now squeezing the buns, pull the navel in nice and tight. You're going to just push your feet into the floor, and you're going to try to lift the hips just a little bit. So already while I'm making this adjustment, I'm now going to pull my pillow out from under my head, because now I can keep, since my hips are off the floor, it helps me keep my neck in the right spot. There we go. Push. You're pressing your heels into the floor. Your chin is drawn towards your chest. Hopefully in this ability to scan your body, right? You're seeing your thighs. Oh, and say hello to the back of that arm. That is your tricep. It's such a great muscle to get tone, right? Peggy said something so fast. It wasn't fascinating. It was like it pleased my ears so much. She said, Michelle, she said, I am so toned. You would never believe how toned I am. Can I tell you that? Yes, I'm so impressed and pleased that you shared that with me. And now pull the shoulder down, pull the weight down, bring the hips down, let everything relax. Switch sides. Assist it up. Have your knees floated out to the sides. Part of what you get to feel as this sensory awareness in your feet is right now, before you make any adjustments, are your feet more loaded on the outside edge, right? Because if they are, that's not a problem. We're going to clean it up. I want you to take your big toes, push them down into the floor, which should draw the knees closer together. Start peeling the hips from the floor. Abs are in, chest, your ribs are pulled down, and you're in pelvic tilt. Where is your arm? Right? Hopefully it's directly above the shoulder. And now get that clean hinge and push. If you don't need your other hand to be in its assist mode for all of the repetitions, just know that you don't have to put your hand on your wrist. You can wait until the struggle presents itself, and you'll know when you're struggling, because you won't be able to get off the bottom of that movement, and you'll need to help just enough to get you through what I call that stick point, right? So chin is to chest. You're scanning down the front of your body to make sure that your knees aren't floating apart. Your buns are tight. Your big toes are actively pushing into the pad. Your free hand, maybe you have your hand at the wrist now. Here we go. Push it up. You got about 5 more.
Buns, buns, buns. If you're like, yeah, but I can still do more, then what I want you to do is load the foot that's got the moving arm with it and extend the other leg. 5. Oh my Lord. Who tried that? 4. Inhale. Exhale, push. 3. Inhale. Exhale, push. 2. Last one. And release. Now, bring it down. For the sake, if anybody actually did the leg raise with me, just to get the other side equally fired up, put weight on it, right? Don't worry about your arms, just put weight on it, pull the belly in, pick up the other leg, and we're holding for 5, 4. Maybe you need your hands to assist you. 3, 2, set everything down. Knees to chest. As the knees are getting closer to you, I want you to pick up your head, tuck your chin, let your body get into this tight little like ball, and we're kind of rocking ourselves from side to side. You're not going to have your head up for much longer. Just do your best. As you keep tucking your chin to your chest, lower your head back to the floor with your chin drawn to your chest, pulling the shoulders out of the ears. This is the challenge because it's like, where's the floor? It's like so far back there. And release, relax. Side sit. Whew. Okay. Last move. Dumbbell out in front. Okay. So you want the dumbbell to kind of be, ankles, maybe even a little bit closer. You want to have enough room between your leg and the bell so that you can get the leg right up and over. If the leg bends, then the foot is going to pull to you, and then the dumbbell will be a non-issue. But you're trying to keep your leg straight. So in the process of you keeping your leg straight, how challenging is it for you to sit up? I say that that's going to be the greater challenge. What do we have to do to assist and prop? If the low back is tight, you can have a tight low back and not have any pain. When I reference a tight low back, it's the back as a whole, as when you go to do seated movements and the spine stays in C curve. If you're not able to get into S, right, then you probably have some shortening going on and a movement done in C curve will not be challenging, okay? The challenge is getting alignment and then trying to lift your leg, right? So if you are lifting your leg, right, going, I don't understand why she would think that this is hard. It's because your back is doing this. The more your shoulders lean back from being on top of the hip bones, the easier the movement gets, right? So with that in mind, I'm giving you a lifeline. Reach out, pick the leg up, okay? If you are reaching forward, when you go to lift your leg, it's going to be very hard, or I should say very noticeable when you lean back and bring the foot off the floor. All right, here we go. Up. Give me one more to each side. Not only that, can we say quad and hip flexor? That's what you're working here, right? And now that completes it. Release and relax. How about our side lying quadricep stretch? Maybe you need your band. I don't. I can get my hand to my foot, right? So pick, do you need your pillow? Do you need your hand, your arm bent, just kind of helping support the head so that the neck is comfortable? Most everybody
can bring their knees up and find a way to grab hold of that foot. Getting your foot or that ankle is the initiation, right? But look how tight of a position that puts the leg in. So if that binds your knee up as you rock back, just know that I'm aware of that, okay? And that might be why you need your strap, is you might be able to hold your foot, but yet you can't rock back because it puts too much binding in the knee to the point where you don't get your knee driven back far enough for you to get the benefit of the quad stretch. So you have to decide, can you just hang on to your foot or your ankle, push the thigh back, zip and tuck, and receive that stretch in the front thigh. A few more seconds. Belly to spine. Drive the knee down a little bit so it's not up. And just because we have a couple more seconds here, there is a term and it's called stacking, okay? So we've got our leg and we're pulling the leg back. And now with the head up, I want you to identify top hip and bottom hip. And can you roll your hips forward a little bit so that the hips from high to low are stacked? And then maybe you're going to be able to push the thigh back a little bit more, tighten up your body line. And release. Flip over. Now would be the time where you're like, okay, I wasn't real successful without the strap. Let me go get my strap. Or you just sit and relax and wait for class to be done, right? This is such a great stretch. Coming across so many people that can't lay belly down and grab the foot, I just have found that this stretch kind of allows more people to do the stretch better, get something out of it in a more comfortable position. We cannot let our guard down on what our posture is supposed to be here, right? So unchecked, your shoulder's going to be in the wrong spot because that's just where the body goes to. Roll the shoulder blade back, free up your neck, right? Level the hip and knee, stack the top and bottom hip, zip up through the lower abs so you feel like you're in pelvic tilt, and just receive that stretch. Shoulder blades are pulled back. They're not only retracted, they're depressed. And in the process of you doing that, follow back up with your pelvic tilt. Wow, the stretch is just, it's spot on, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, and release and relax. Class, thank you so much. Like, it's funny to say thank you for your attention because you're kind of like held captive on the other end of the screen. But I do know that you could walk away at any time and sign yourself out. And the fact that you didn't means that you probably stayed with it. And I appreciate that. So I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow, I hope.